Let me do the intro right here.
My next guest tonight had a political satire show in Egypt.
Egypt's foremost political satirist, host of the now banned television program.
It would be Egypt's last political satire show.
We're joined by senior Middle East correspondent Bassem Youssef.
Bassem Youssef.
Bassem Youssef.
It's Bassem Youssef! He's looking like John Cena right now, the size of it. Let's just talk about the physical appearance. You are looking after yourself. Look at you.
Yeah. Well, as I told you, I said you know what? I'm coming to Kris Fade Show. Let me put my best attire. And I said I'm going to the Kris Fade Show.
It's fair. Yeah, exactly. Come and relax. But we're just talking about you just keeping fit and all of us trying to keep staying fit. Something that's important for you, right?
Of course, it's my midlife crisis. I mean, I have just turned 50, and now it dawns on me the inevitability of age. And disintegrating and just fading away in the world. So what is the most important, substantial, and deep thing that you can do? You just build muscles and be very shallow.
I'm trying to do that every day.
Yeah,
that's right. Building muscles and being shallow. Bassem, before we get into talking about you, we want to talk about us.
Yes,
which includes you.
And it includes us.
It includes us. The last time you were here, which was a few months ago, we did an interview. That interview, I want to tell everybody right now, has been nominated for a New York Radio Award for Best Interview on Radio. The Bassem Youssef Kris Fade Show Virtual Radio has been nominated for a New York Radio Award, which is a very prestigious award. So, Bassem, thank you for sprinkling your
It's my Midas touch.
That's right.
Everything I touch turned into gold. It's a Bassem Youssef bump, everybody.
Touch me. Yes.
Thank you.
No, but seriously, we were blown away when we got that. So we got.
When do we know?
I think in about 30 days, 30 to 45 days.
All
All right.
Well, the prize money is amazing, mate. But
I mean, it's radio.
You get about $1.
It's like exactly radio. You hear about it, you never see it.
tell me about it.
But so we're doing this interview just to see if we can get nominated again. That's the main reason.
This is it.
No, you're here. He's back in the UAE. He's the icon. It's Bassem Youssef. Now let's talk Abu Dhabi first of all.
I think you know what got us the prize.
What?
Like the short it's Nala crying. I think the sub session. I don't know sometimes.
You're locked up?
I'm not making fun of your pain, but I am.
Cry more, Nala.
Last time Bassem was here, Nala was crying because it was an emotional
Not crying,
chat.
sobbing, please.
You were sobbing and crying. I think you were doing it all. And I think that was a moment. I think the interview last time that we caught up was just such a great interview because we spoke about everything that you've been doing over the last sort of 6 months, and it was like a roller coaster. It was up and there were downs, and you did what you did, Bassem, which was control the situation and know exactly how to handle a situation. You've been very, very busy. You're here and you're doing a show in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, yeah.
At the Abu Dhabi Comedy Week, which is huge. You were on stage May 24th, which is a Friday.
Yeah, well, actually, it's huge. First of all, it's a double show.
Ooh.
Okay.
So you get two of the press of one. My friend Maz Jobrani and
I love
me. We're
Maz.
gonna have a Middle East tour with gonna include Kuwait, Muscat, Amman, and maybe Lebanon, and 24th of May, Island Arena.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I tell you why this is so important and why it's so scary. This is my first arena.
Wow.
Yeah. You have to understand. Seinfeld has a very famous saying said, how much you do in comedy is your age in comedy. So you've been doing it for 5 years. You're 5 years old.
Interesting.
So I'm a 5-6 years old infant. And
have you only been doing comedy for 5 years?
Stand-up comedy in English, yes. So you go in, and here's the thing: what people don't understand about arenas. You go in, and it's like you find 6,000 people, 7,000. It is scary, and it is terrible for comedy because there's so much air, and the ceiling is so high. So you're standing there, and it happened. I tried that on a lower level. So my biggest audience so far is 3,000 people. I did that in the NJPAC, the New Jersey Performance Arts Center, and it's big and it's huge. And because of the air and because of the acoustics, you don't hear people laughing.
Do you know?
The laughter disperse. So you deliver the punchline and you expect a certain haha, and you say.
So what do you do? What were you doing?
And I think it's you don't see them because you're on stage and there's spotlights.
Yeah.
So you basically see the first two lines where basically like you're like. You feel like they're on mute. They're like, I see you laughing, I don't hear you laughing. And then you have all of the. So every single time that I do like a big show, I come up like, did people laugh? And people's like, what are you talking about? People, the whole place was shaking from laughter. But it
doesn't.
And
feel
when
it.
you don't feel it, that reflects on your energy.
Yeah,
so
of
you need
course.
I need to learn how to be in my head, not in their heads. It's very, very, very difficult.
You know, Kevin Hart did an interview recently, and he said he puts microphones in arenas for that exact reason. So he will plant microphones
Yeah, I was gonna say
in the
that,
audience.
yeah.
Well,
so you can hear the
we're
laughter.
trying
Try
that. I've actually been trying that, but I don't know how well, Kevin Hart and those people can afford. This has to be a very expensive acoustic system because they want to deliver the laughter, but they don't want to deliver the chatter.
Yes, correct.
So that's not easy.
So true.
Wow, that's okay. So it's Etihad Arena, guys, May 24th. Maz Rabrani's going to be there alongside. This is amazing. Bassem Youssef, go and grab your tickets right now. Etihad Arena, as we said, Yas Island is where it's happening on the 24th of May. How hard is it as a stand-up? Like when we went and saw Kevin a couple of weeks ago, no phones. Like they take the phones off you. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't know. It's to take a phone out of the hand of an Arab.
Chris went back to check his.
It's true.
Take my baby, but not my phone. Here's my wife, but not my phone.
Would you ever think of doing it? Because I understand, I was trying to work out, obviously why they do it, and I understand it's the material that you sit down and you write for months upon months, and you don't want it just to all go out on social media and spoil the rest of the tour.
This is and also when people take this with their phones, it will never be as good as it is on stage.
Sure.
So people's like, oh, what is this? That's not funny. So I don't know what's the logistics, but something like I'm talking with the people there, and to control that with people, that's very difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
All right, well, grab your tickets. It's Friday, May 24th, as we said, Etihad Arena. It is his first huge arena show. We are so glad that it's happening here in the UAE. Bassem Youssef, you've been very, very busy, of course, apart from doing stand-up comedy, traveling the world, doing what you do. You've been doing a lot of podcasts. You do what you do. How do you... I want to play like a board game with Bassem and Bassem be on my side because
yes.
you have the ability of... Have you just read a lot? How do you know so much, especially about certain topics that we're all talking about right now?
Well, 6 months ago I didn't. 6 months ago I didn't. Like
Okay.
my information of what's happening in the region was like whatever like an average person would do. I didn't get into the nitty-gritty parts of it. After the first Piers Morgan interview, it was not much about information other than about like basic logic and satire.
Okay.
But then I said like I cannot continue doing that. I need to educate myself. So I did what nerd people like me do, and I studied. So what I did, I formed a team all around the world, from Washington, New York, Germany, and the Middle East, historians, politicians, even people from inside the Knesset, all of those people. And some of them are my friends, some of them like I was introduced to. And I said, I need to be a formidable opponent where all of the stuff that we hear, all of the things that used to shut down the conversation, I need to have a good comeback. So I started to dig in, and I did kind of like a categorized file where I know exactly if somebody says that, I know exactly the same response. If I do this is going to be the historical context. And I worked with like many people. Like it was at a certain point I was working with 12 different people from 12 different countries, and then I take all of that and I studied and I studied and I studied, and then I would practice that if I get this question, I need to answer this in exactly like 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Because what I noticed from the debates about these topics, people just like go on and on and on, and it doesn't become interesting for the people.
Right.
And we are in an age where you need to be snappy and be fast, to be informative. So this, I treated this the same way that I treated medicine, studying, and I treated this the same way I treat stand-up comedy, which is studying and delivery. So So in order that I needed to be always up to date. So because sometimes some of the discussions from the other part, they throw you off, and they know that. So when it comes to me, it's like, I know that. I saw that coming. So it's all about preparation.
No,
it's all about preparation.
It's like you're preparing. What you explained then is an athlete preparing to win a gold medal. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
You have a team of people, you're training, you're getting ready for it, and then you get ready for the race or the battle of whatever it is. You recently did a podcast with a guy called, is it Adam Scola? Is it
Adam? It's with PBD. And the thing is, here's this. Okay, so I was in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I since Piers Morgan, that was already in October, and that was in January now, and I haven't been going on many interviews and podcasts because at the time I was like, oh, you're capitalizing about what's happening, and I said, like, you know what, I don't need that.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was doing like a series of shows in Miami, and my agent said, like, Bassem, you're gonna do this. Now this was the worst week in my life. I was in Los Angeles. I traveled to Boston, did shows, went back to Los Angeles, went from Los Angeles to Dubai, went back to Los Angeles, went back to Los Angeles to Dubai again, went back to Miami. I was doing the 1 billion summit, and I won the Arab Association Forum at the same time.
Yep.
So I was basically like one day, 17 hours flight, come back, and then so on the day of the interviews, I had like 4 or 5 podcasts lined up next to each other, and I'm like a zombie. And not just that, I pulled my back with all of these traveling
luggages. Yeah.
So I had like the worst. I had an old disc injury. So I was on like a whole bunch of painkillers, anti-inflammatories, painkillers.
Oh gosh!
So I was literally drugged. I was drugged. So I'm there sitting there. So I didn't prepare for that one. I was very tired, and my just like, oh god, I'm on this one of those promotional podcasts. Like, hi, the Bassem Youssef in town, guys. Go see what's wrong. Miami Improv, and I was like sitting there, and then suddenly everybody started to ask me about Trump and why is Trump better or Biden better? I was like, okay, fine. And then that guy, the rude guy, started to ask me, like, hit me with like, what do you think is happening? Why do you think? And I said, yeah, dude, whatever. And I'm so there's like a dark cloud over my head. And then suddenly, 20 minutes in, if you see this interview, the first 25 minutes, I'm stumbling over my I can't see. And then he started like that and said, okay, I'm in a trap. And you knew. All I could do is just like garner my information. So he started to insult me. He started to kind of like throw insults to me. Yeah. And all I can do is like, dude. Yeah. And I just like replying with facts. So everybody... And they're like, oh my God, Bassem Youssef has the patience of a saint. It's like, no, I was drunk. I was high.
Yeah, but you still destroyed him.
I did not have. I didn't have the energy.
Right.
But this was the best education for me, because I talked about this before. Many of those people, they want to push your button in order to. They want to play on your ego.
Yeah.
So they go into these personal attacks, so you would lose it. So it becomes like a shouting game. So and this is exactly what they want you to do.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he was doing that, and I was not responding. I was not responding because I couldn't. and he was like telling me all of these stuff, and just like I was responding with facts, and it ended, and he looked like a jerk.
He came across not looking great at all.
And at the end of the day, all I looked like a very informative, knowledgeable person under the influence of drugs.
You know your stuff. You know your stuff, Bassem. Bassem Youssef hanging out with us. We've got a few calls here right now. Nada, hi, you're on with Bassem. What do you want to say?
Oh my God. أول شيء السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
ازيك يا باشا.
ازيك يا باشا.
Hi. Okay, so I'll get into it. Okay. Since you've been vocal in the media the last few months, okay. Do you feel that your words have affected positive change in the Western community, and how have you seen it?
I think the Western community is too big. It's too big. Like the Western community is just that there are millions and millions of people, and some of those people won't be even exposed to what I say. Yeah, you have to understand, like the average American life, those people have they have ESPN, HBO, streaming, whatever work. and they have very little time
Yeah.
to look at the world news. And usually they have like what, few minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, and they will take it from the usual
Sources, yeah.
sources. So, but sometimes a few things goes through the cracks. But did I affect the Western media, the Western side? I don't think so. But maybe some people kind of started to see something different. At least we are introducing like a different way to carry on that conversation.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you did.
And these are increments. This is increment. It has to be over a long period of time.
Yeah, but I think you did. I think you definitely opened up. Because I say that because I have friends that are in America. I have friends that are in Australia who both sent me your content. And that's when I was happy. And I was like, oh, I love that they're sending me that content. Nada, thanks so much for the question. Great question. Do you want to say goodbye? I'll let you do your...
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We love you. And I can't wait for your comedy show. I'm going to be in the first row, inshallah. You'll see me. I'm the girl with curly hair, okay?
Give me more clues.
That's another show, Bassem. That's another show. How are you at a wedding? I can imagine you being at a wedding.
You'd be fun.
Have you been... I guarantee your management have been asked for you to attend some weddings over the last 6 months.
Yeah, weddings, bar mitzvahs, everything.
Oh, he's got it. You can see him do his stand-up show alongside Maz Jobrani. You guys have known each other for a while.
Oh my God, Maz is such an incredible person.
Guy.
I have a story about Maz Jobrani already.
Sure, let's go.
Okay, so Maz Jobrani has a reputation in the comedy world that he is a nice guy. He's one of the nicest people in general. So he said like, oh, Maz Jobrani, he's nice. So Maz Jobrani used to come to me and complain about like, they said like, he's nice. He's like, but am I funny? They say fun. So recently, me and him did a show together in Los Angeles, and most of the people there were Arabs, and they came to see me. The moment that I got on stage, people came in, standing ovation, Bassem, so I went in, and Maz just like, dude, they adore you, they respect you. I said, yes, but did they think I'm funny?
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, is he the human ego?
Yeah.
Oh, they respect me, like, yeah, but and then if they think I'm funny, it was like, do they respect me? We are horrible human beings. We just our ego is such. This is the downfall over humanity.
Yeah, it's the ego. I agree.
Yeah.
I think ego just gets in the way of everybody. I think it destroys people's careers. I think there's people that would have the best career ever, but their ego has stopped them because they don't allow it. And I think social media plays a big role in that right now as well.
Oh, 100%.
Right? So, okay, if you want to see if they're funny, they're nice. I know they're nice, but are they funny? May 24th, Etihad Arena. It's part of the Abu Dhabi Comedy Week. Before we get into our little competition that we want to go, Zoya has been hanging out, and she wants to know more about the comedy side. Zoya, you are on with Bassem Youssef right now.
Hello, good morning. Big fan, Bassem.
Hi, Zoya.
How are you? Okay, just ask two questions. What inspired you to be a comedian, and what struggles or challenges did you face in this journey?
Oh, what inspires me to be well, actually, it all came by chance because I never grew up saying like, oh, I want to be a comedian. I was also a doctor all my life, and I just did this YouTube videos in 2011, went viral, and then suddenly I am giving my own television show. So I found myself kind of falling into comedy. And then when I left Egypt, I had to find a way to survive, and because I couldn't do the show that I did in Egypt, so I started to teach myself stand-up comedy in English. So it's always like it was a kind of either by chance or by necessity. What was the second question? What
struggles have you faced trying to become a comedian?
Oh, it's terrible, especially if you do stand-up comedy. First of all, there's the struggle that you did when you do political comedy in the Middle East, which is it's a struggle by itself. But the struggle now, not just like because I do stand-up comedy in English and in Arabic. The struggle is comedy and humor is the most what do you call it? Subjective thing ever.
True.
What is funny for someone, it is not funny for someone else. Like, for example, I can go into a show in a comedy club, doing two shows back to back, one at 7 o'clock, one at 9 o'clock. Same room, same material, different crowds, totally different shows.
Wow, really?
It's just like the slightest thing that every time you go in, and you might have done your set 15,000 times. You do not know what will happen. It's the most unpredictable thing. The soundtrack of every single show that you have done is vastly different. Sometimes something happens, you respond to it, you don't respond to it. A little thing can just like spoil the whole experience. So it's the beauty and the ugliness of live performance. You don't know what you get, and you hope for the best, and you just like hope it doesn't just get ruined. So it is. There's this kind of a stress, but there's also with comedy, and I think with performance in general, you always have this idea, and that's like your ego again talking. I did this, even if it did the best day. It's like, how can I top this? What can I do this? I don't know. You have this all of like doubt and insecurities that maybe you're not good enough. And I'll tell you from personal question, my personal journey, what is my biggest problem doing this? My biggest problem is that I had a meteoric rise in Egypt. In 1 year, I had the number one show in Egypt. And then in this kind of past few months, I just like being propelled again to the top. When you go up so fast, two things could happen to you. You either get arrogant, get full of your head, or you get too scared because in your mind, I went up so fast, I built up this building so quickly, and you worry if you don't have that much of a strong foundation to support it. So when you're up there, in your mind, you're on flimsy foundation. And that's why you get very nervous, because in your mind, any single mistake that will happen that can actually bring all of that down in a second. So the comedians and performers are one of the most insecure people ever.
Yeah, you don't know that you could say one thing that could spoil it all. Is that what you're saying?
And and not just that, you don't know if because you've went there, you arrived there so fast. You don't know if you have put the work or put the foundation or put what can actually make that stand longer. So you always feel that you're on flimsy feet. You're feeling on a bad foundation. That is the whole thing of like, when can this be taken away from me in a second? That's the biggest fear.
And you have experience, though, quote unquote, with fame now. You've dealt with it. I've seen, and you would have seen some people, especially when it comes to influencers, I see these influencers who just out of nowhere grab a bit of fame, grab some followers. I've never seen so much ego in my life from some of them. And then within 2 years, they're gone. You never hear from them again. So and I think that's what you're saying. You got to make sure you've got that foundation below you.
And I'm blessed that, because like when I started to be famous, I was already almost 40. And I went through a whole life of being a doctor, a resident, and doctor, you basically people, you get humiliated for most of the life. You're going into the army, and it's the humiliation, this kind of humility that kind of like makes you think, when I became famous, like, oh, I'm not used to that. Like, I'm not used why people are taking pictures with me. I was like, why people like me that much? I'm not used to that kind of love. I'm used to more criticism.
This is weird. Life's good. Zoya, thank you so much for your question. Hey, I mean, you were a heart surgeon. God forbid something happened right now and the equipment was here. Could you still do and perform a surgery?
I will call 911. I will call the ambulance.
But you still got it.
Nobody performs a heart surgery in a radio studio.
But if you had to, you would still, I'm saying, even if you were in a theater, you'd still know what to do.
I will stall. I will open the skin incision very, very, very slowly. I will do all of my steps very slowly until you get a real doctor.
Sure. You're still saving our life. Okay, Bassem, you're talking about stand-up comedy. Rossi and I are going to deliver some dad jokes right now. Yeah. We're both dads.
Dad jokes or dead jokes?
Dead
jokes.
Dead dad jokes.
Dead dad jokes.
Dead dad jokes. So that's actually a great one. Dead dad society.
So they're going to go 1 for 1, okay, Bassem? I need you to not be too nice on this. I need you to have like a serious face on and only laugh if you think they deserve the laugh, okay? And we're going to see how many laughs they get each. They're very competitive.
Welcome to the Dead Dad Jokes.
This is
He's not
very
dead.
morbid.
I love that I've actually added this. You should say that. Dead dad jokes, sponsored by Bassem Youssef.
Go, Rossi.
Oh, why I go first?
To Bassem, go ahead.
Hi, Bassem. This is intimidating. It's my nightmare, actually. What's the most common doctors in Egypt?
I don't know.
The chiropractors.
It was so bad.
No, I thought that was actually good. He associated Egypt and everything. Like,
It's clever.
Thank you. I just wrote that myself.
It's clever.
But no
no
laughs.
laughs. No laughs.
No laughs.
let me write my own. I've come up with one.
This is a bad idea.
What does a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common, Bassem?
I don't know.
They're both parasites.
Wow, guys.
Clever.
Talking about buildings and construction, I got offered a construction job in Egypt this morning. I was absolutely devastated because it turned out to be a pyramid scheme. Pyramid scheme.
Can't even deliver it.
Was that clever?
I know.
Okay.
I do it in my show.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Old jokes, okay. Go on, Chris.
But mine is much better.
Of course.
The delivery is a bit better, right?
Oh.
He's laughing. Is that a vote?
No, he's laughing at his own
No,
stuff.
I'm,
not
I'm,
yours.
I'm laughing because of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're laughing at yourself, his own jokes. Okay, go, Chris.
Maybe something that you should do too. To fill the space.
You get some microphones over here.
Do I get a point? Okay.
Yeah, you win. So far, you're
Give him
winning.
some microphones.
Guys, please, back to me.
Sorry, Chris.
Go.
You know, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, but Bassem, I only know 25, and I don't know why.
Let's move swiftly on.
He liked it, though. He liked it.
He's not laughing, though.
No, I like the cleverness.
Thank you.
I like, it's kind of like, this is the kind of a crowd in a comedy show. It's like, and that is not the kind of reaction you want to have in a comedy show.
No. Is there a winner?
No, one more each. One more each.
Okay, this
All
is
right,
it.
Listen, it's another Egypt joke. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh, why are you only doing Egypt
He
joke?
Googled it.
I visited a strange a small shop in Egypt recently. There was some really weird goods for sale in there. Honestly, the whole thing was just a little bizarre.
Oh my gosh.
That's very bad.
I'm so embarrassed.
Sorry.
Okay, Chris.
You know, like Rossi, Bassem.
Here we go.
No, I've got a phobia. I don't trust stairs. You know stairs?
Yeah.
They're always up to something.
These are so bad.
I knew this was a bad idea to start out with, honestly.
But here's the thing, because I love Chris.
I gotta laugh. I've won it. I've won it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not fair.
Thank you so much. If you want to get some real laughs, go and see Bassem Youssef. The Abu Dhabi Comedy Week, May 24th.
He's the host. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I had to brown nose it. I had to.
He's so honest. He's so
had to.
honest.
He's very honest.
I had to.
Khalas, man. You just no, I was funny. You don't
Of
have to
course,
say
yeah.
that.
Of course, you're funny. Of course.
We want to thank you as always for coming in. I mean, we've just spent nearly an hour together, and it flew by.
Oh yeah,
Love it.
Which is amazing. What do you want to say? You're on the radio right now. What would you like? You got so many fans. We have a lot of people calling and messaging as the interview's going on. But what do you want to say to everyone that just follows you and sees what you do?
Well, first of all, every time I come to Dubai, it is being home. And not just because of the place, but because of the people, the friends that you acquire here. Everybody's here is beautiful and it's nice, and they're just like very, 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 very lovely. And I feel quite at home, and this is actually my home. Virgin Radio, and Chris, you're always my brother.
Thank you, man.
Rosse,
thank you.
Nala,
Pretty.
oh, look, pretty good.
Well, we love that. We always love having you come back whenever you. I know that Dubai is like a second home to you right now, so please come back, and this is your home. But thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll keep following your journey and appreciate you. And go and see him once again, May 24th at Etihad Arena.
One more thing. If you guys have friends in Europe, I'm doing the most intense European tour next week. 22 shows in 16 cities in 30 days.
What?
It is the most intense thing ever, and I hope I stay alive. I'm doing London, Paris, Zurich, Malmö, Sweden, Oslo, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Munich, Hamburg, Berlin. It is gonna... Oh, Dublin, Birmingham, Manchester. So
I mean,
it's gonna be crazy.
This is unbelievable. We're proud of you, man. We are proud of you. Look at you waving the flag across all of Europe. Go and see it. For more details, hit up his Instagram page as well. I know you've got all the dates there as well.
At Bassem.
Bassem! Yourself!
Radio.